Hello and welcome to another Bad Comic Review. Today I was reading first issue special number 9 featuring Dr. Fate. I always liked Dr. Fate, so I was pretty excited to read it. It was written by Martin Pascoe and Walt Simonson did the art. Jerry Conway was the editor, and that's a pretty good lineup. I'm not that familiar with Martin Pascoe, but this was a fun issue. We start out with Dr. Fate zipping out of his tower to go and find out what's going on. Of some mystical powers told him that wackiness was afoot and he had to stop it. It was, quote, foretold. And he shows up at the Boston Museum of Egyptology only to discover that there are a couple of dead people and that there's a mummy on the loose named Khalees or Kali. I think it's Khalees. I don't know. And Dr. Fate's like, age-old prophecy came true. A fight ensues. It's pretty cool, actually. And Dr. Fate gets knocked out, and the bad guy steals his amulet. It's the amulet of Anubis, and this guy appears to be a servant of Anubis. Dr. Fate's pretty messed up, so he flies back to his tower where he collapses and resumes his mortal form of Kent Nelson. His wife Inza is there, and she's very frustrated with him. But we learn that there is a bathroom in Dr. Fate's tower because we could see part of the toilet, and she gets him some medication. She gets mad that he falls asleep, so she throws the cup and storms off in a huff and says she's leaving him. And Dr. Fate, Kent, goes down to the basement and does some research on Kalis, and we get some backstory about how he was a servant of Anubis, and the amulet of Anubis was a reward for destroying a temple to Bast. Nabu, the guy that trained Dr. Fate, didn't like that this guy was destroying stuff and gathering slaves. Kalis was trying to build a pyramid in homage to Anubis, and Nabu, being a powerful wizard, put the kibosh on that. So he took the amulet away from him, freeing the slaves from the spell they were under, and they mummified Kalis alive. But Anubis said that he would have long life in death so that he could continue to serve him. But this was all new information for Dr. Fate. He didn't know anything about this. And then we get a little recap of his origin story, which goes on for several pages, about how he was 12-year-old following his father, Sven Nelson, who was an archaeologist slash explorer, and they stumbled upon this cave in the Valley of Ur, and they went inside, and it was the kid found the suspended body of Nabu and freed him, but the gas that had preserved him in place also killed Sven, and the kid was real upset. But Nabu cast a spell on him, erased the memories of the pain, and imbued him with all these powers, and he became sort of schizophrenic from the sound of it, where he's Dr. Fate and Kent Nelson, and the personalities are distinctly different. Then we cut back, and the wife is a little upset that maybe she betrayed him a little too easily, and she goes out to see what she can do. In the meantime, Dr. Fate's hunting down Kalis, and they get in a big fight, which is pretty cool. This Kalis guy looks pretty sweet in the mummy outfit, actually. So we get this really cool splash scene on page 13. It's a big panel of Dr. Fate zapping the guy with the Ankhs floating around and energy beams, and pretty cool shot. I really like that. I like a lot of Walt Simonson's work. It's not always the greatest, but that was a cool scene. Then the guy takes off, and Dr. Fate runs into Nelson's wife, who tells him that she found a seal on the coffin that has an invocation on it, and that's very useful to him. So Dr. Fate takes off, and somebody dropped a sphinx and a pyramid in the middle of the city, and obviously that was Kalis. But he summons Anubis, and Anubis is mad and has no memory of this guy whatsoever. So Kalis pulls the bandages off and says, "Look at me," but it doesn't help anything. Anubis just gets kind of mad and berates him and seems to have no memory of him. But he's got the amulet, so when Dr. Fate shows up, Anubis says that if you destroy Dr. Fate, he will consider the man's cause. Well, that doesn't do much good, because Dr. Fate has this incantation, which he uses to summon the power of Ra and melt the guy into a bunch of crumbling nothingness and dust. So Anubis takes off. I guess the pyramid disappears too. I'm not sure. that's a little bit left unexplained. So, yeah, the wife shows up and picks up Kent, and everything's right with the world. It was a nice self-contained story. It takes place in, like, Boston. Dr. Fate's tower's in Salem, I believe, Massachusetts. So it's not that far of travel. But yeah, it was a fun issue. I like self-contained stories sometimes. You don't have to worry about getting the next issue. But as far as Dr. Fate goes, he was always kind of a peripheral character. I always liked him. So it was cool to read a story about him and not have to worry about finding part 2 or anything. But yeah, I like this issue quite a bit. The art's pretty solid. A lot of people don't like Walt Simonson's art. I think sometimes it's really awesome, sometimes it's just kind of mediocre. But Martin Pascoe did a good job. Jerry Conway, as always, does a good job. So it was a great Silver Age book. I guess this is technically Silver Age. But yeah, it's a nice self-contained story. So if you get a chance and you like Dr. Fate, hunt this one down. It's first issue special number 9. It had a 25-cent cover price, but you could usually track down for about $2, $3. I wouldn't go much higher than 5 unless you're a diehard Dr. Fate fan. But that'll do it for this one. As always, thanks for watching. Oh yeah, and the cover is really cool too. I really like even though the Sphinx doesn't actually attack him, it's a cool cover. But that'll do it for this one. As always, thanks for watching and supporting the channel, and we hope to see you on the next episode.